Hello, welcome to my computer room and HQ for my tour planning. Now the weather is rather horrible outside. There's rain and wind and all kinds of things happening out there. It's time to turn my mind to next year, next May, end of May towards June, and what we're going to do next year. So I am thinking of maybe going to Scotland again, and so I've done a bit of a plan, trying to link up with the availability of hotels at a sensible price. And it being Scotland, they are few and far between. So I've come up with a little bit of a rough plan, which this video will be shared with our group for them to have a look to see what they think, and if they want to make any alterations, or if they would if they would rather go somewhere else, then maybe the Peak District or something else, or whether they're comfortable with my plan so far. I have used the computer to screenshot the route, and if anybody's got any suggestions on maybe improving it along the general line of where I'm going, your comments would be very welcome. We are trying to keep the mileage around about 200 miles, 220 miles plus each day. We are riding for pleasure. We're not going for the Iron Butt Challenge or anything like that. So the first day, see if I can do this without right. The first day is 270 miles, 4 hours 44 minutes, starting from Newport and headed up through Wales. Could have gone quicker up the motorway, but that's not the point of riding a bike, is it? So up through the centre of Wales, Shrewsbury, get up to Chester, and then we will have to do a certain amount of motorway and looking to stay in Lancaster. So there's a Premier Inn there in Lancaster. So pretty standard up through Wales, pleasant ride. We will have to do the motorway from Warrington up to Lancaster, but then at last Lancaster they stop in a Premier Inn there, hopefully, if the boys are in agreement. The Lancaster to Paisley, the same again. We can't avoid doing some motorway, so Lancaster, from there on the M6 until we get the opportunity to turn off towards Castle Douglas, and then from Castle Douglas, Newton Stewart, from Newton Stewart to where through the park that's there. It's supposedly a really nice road, and then head up then from Ayr to Paisley, just outside Glasgow, to the Glasgow airport. Same again, it gives us the opportunity then to use a Premier Inn or one of the hotels around Paisley, around Glasgow Airport, so there should be plenty of rooms available, no great problem. So the nice part of the day will be from Castle Douglas, Newton Stewart, Ayr, and then up to Paisley, and that will be 27 miles, 5 hours and 2 minutes for the day, 2.5 hours to lunch, 2.5 hours after lunch. It's yeah, it's not hard riding, but hopefully there'll be some good views. Castle Douglas, Newton Stewart to Ayr. I think it should be good. And Paisley Airport, yes, it's plenty of accommodation, and that's what it needs to be. We've no intention of doing the NC 500. To be honest, it's not really my kind of riding. I don't mind a little bit of single lane work, but I don't want to spend an entire trip going around small lanes. So my plan for the next day, day 3, is from Paisley up past Loch Lomond, across to Inverary, head south down the eastern side of that inlet there to Loch Gibbed. What we got here? Adrishag, something like that. Turn, head up Kilmartin, go up alongside Loch Orr, and then head across and spend the night in Oban. I'm sure somebody will correct me. For the third day, not so many miles in this day, but 141 miles and just under 4 hours riding, but along some very nice scenic routes. So I would imagine it's one of those routes you will want to stop and take a few photographs and take it at their own pace. Yeah, I'm sure I've seen a few videos where they go up past Loch Orr, and it seems very nice. There is also a coastal route that goes up to Oban. Same again, if we decide, it is a relatively short day, so I think taking a longer route all the way along the Loch Orr is not a bad thing. And then spending the night again Premier Inn, Oban. So that's third day. Fourth day, well, possibly the fourth day. I'll change this just a moment. Yeah, fourth day. This is a possible thing, addition to the trip. Is we leave Oban, come down the coast road, go down to Campbelltown in Kintyre, on the west side, and then the east side, go up, it'd probably be single track roads up the east side of Kintyre, do a loop, head back up then to Oban and do a bit of a figure 8 there, and just enjoy it. It's 199 miles, so it's within our plan. 2.5 hours in the morning, 2.5 hours in the afternoon, get back to Oban for a nice sensible time, and day 4, that's what that's looking like. So get back on here. yeah, so after we've done the Oban bit and Kintyre, day 5 is, yeah, we head north to Glencoe, go through Glencoe, across, and then come back down, is it A82, I think, and touch on Glasgow, and then head down to Wemyss Bay. My son, who lives in Scotland, reckons it's a pleasant place to go, so we head down the coast then, and end up in Ayr again, Premier Inn, but 170 miles that day, not so many miles, 4 hours 12, but it does allow us time to do a little bit of photography around Glencoe, and coming back down through the centre of Scotland there. Yeah, it gives us a bit of time for sightseeing. Yeah, and it drops us down into Ayr. So next day, keeping up the premise of around about 200 miles. Coming down from Ayr to Castle Douglas through the park again. We have got to pick up a bit of motorway again, so back down to Castle Douglas, then across to the motorway, and for just purely, I suppose, staying somewhere different. I've got it down here as a travel lodge in Southport. I'll have a fish and chips at the seaside, I suppose, and a couple of pints in Southport. Southport, it is a good night out in Southport. Haven't been there quite a few times. And 4 hours 22 minutes, 209 miles. Yeah, all within our safety zone. So yeah, that's day 5, I think. And then last day is coming from Southport and coming down into Newport. 189 miles, 4 hours 26 minutes according to Google, but yeah, quite an easy day in the saddle. Again, coming down through mid Wales rather than taking the M6, and home to Newport. Yeah, that's a possible tour for us next year. It'll be interesting to see what the boys have got to say. It's just the initial plan to start off with. I'm sure there'll be some alterations. If anybody's done a similar view, we can always let me know in the comments to see if it's what you think of it, or if you think it's not a good route. There's a lot of motorway miles that could be done just getting up to Scotland, and I know there's people who would prefer to blast up first off and spend more days in Scotland. But I have the opinion that I like to enjoy every day of our tour, not just the middle bit, and you have a painful up and a painful down. Is anything involves making me feel stressed is not really part of my plans. So yeah, welcome to my HQ, my planning zone. I plan my trips up here. I've got my Garmin setup, what's it called? Basecamp. I got the Basecamp on my computer, that I can plan routes with Basecamp. I do tend to use, like I think everybody else does, Google Maps first, to plan my route. I tend to work out the way I'm going, and I've got a BMW 6 sat-nav. I know people have issues with it, but I haven't so far. So speak as you find. I tend to get my waypoints off the Google Maps and then transfer it straight into my sat-nav. Check it, make sure it's all going in the same direction, and then save it into my sat-nav. I don't transfer it from Basecamp. I tend to have a lot of problems with Basecamp. I'm not really a technophobe, and it's quite complicated, I think, for what it is. It's much easier to plan it Google Maps, then transfer it straight into the sat-nav, and I find the sat-nav 6, BMW 6, a very easy sat-nav to use, to be honest. I know everybody's different, but yeah, it works for me, and that's all you need in it. We're just in a pleasure game. We do what's good for us. Yes, so that's the plan. A little video, and I can share this with our group and YouTube, and see what they want to alter, if they want to alter anything, if they're happy. And so Phil, Jeff, Brian, maybe Peter, got any comments? If anybody else got any comments, you're more than welcome. Try to keep it nice comments, please. And yes, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again in another video soon. Cheers. Ta-ra.